Hood. We got a special guest in the house tonight, Brother Kenneth Riley, a.k.a. Smokey. But see, when I see him growing up, he come from a two-family home, right over there on 87, living like Andy Griffith did when he was a kid. The streets was clean, the neighborhood was good. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to find out what happened. How did Kenneth Riley turn into Smokey? But I want to say, Kenny, tell me about growing up on 87 over there off of Hooper Avenue. Give me a little bit about you.
Well, first of all, I want to say thank you for having me on your podcast today, brother. I really appreciate coming in here and talking and just, putting it down for you in your neighborhood, brother. But, like I grew up on 87th, like you say, in Hooper. And you went too far. What, you was on 85th and Compton?
Yeah, I was on 85th and Compton.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, it was back in the 70s, it was a typical black neighborhood, man, back then,
yes, Yeah.
We was past the Rots Ride was over with by the time the 70s came. Back in 1972 is when I actually started wanting to be a gang member.
Well, check this out. For you to start wanting to be it, how did you even get introduced to it?
Well, I saw it. We saw it. Just seeing the dudes in the neighborhood, man. The older cats in the neighborhood were back then. I thought they was much older than we was. I was 12 years old. They was like 15, 16 years old. They was, they wasn't too much older than I was. Come to find out, you know what I'm saying. But back then, that was from 12 to 15 was a big gap.
Right.
When we was growing up, that was a big gap.
Yeah, it was.
And so at 12, I wasn't even supposed to come out the yard.
Right.
Pops used to tell me, boy, don't go outside the gate, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
But I just look across the street, because I had one of the homies, Billy Jack, stayed kind of corner across the street from me, and a lot of the dudes, older cats used to hang out over there, and I used to just see them. I just see them from my yard and see all the girls going over there, and they over there partying and drinking and smoking.
So it looked at fun.
It looked at fun, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, they sure was having fun across that street. And my dad said, boy, don't let me catch you across that street. I'd be like, man. And there's something in me, I just wanted to go check it out, man, because it seemed like they was having so much fun.
But how old were you? You was at Drew at this time.
Yeah, I was at Drew. I probably had just got to Drew. I was 12. What time we graduated?
Drew started about 12, 7th grade, 13, something like that.
I was 12 years old. This was a 72. And gangbanging, actually Crippin' was fairly new. Crippin' was fairly new. I think Crippin' probably started like 69, 68, somewhere around up in there. But this was like 72. And so I just, used to just see the dudes across the street. I knew them, from them living on my street.
Right.
And because, before that, I was into sports. I wanted to be a basketball player, a football player, man, like a whole lot of people in our neighborhood.
Yes, yeah.
There's a lot of athletes was in our neighborhood at that time, And so, we did a lot of playing ball up at Drew after school and on Saturdays up at Russell.
Right,
I was into that type of stuff, you know what I'm saying? So, but it was just something about the gang lifestyle that intrigued me.
Wow.
And I can't tell you why or how, because, my mother and father, they knew nothing about none of that, you know what I'm saying?
But that name Kenny Riley started ringing.
At some point, it started ringing because I observed and I learned from the older cats in the neighborhood, you know what I'm saying? See, when I went into it, I was a youngster, and I had the fortitude to see what I was getting involved in and learn and see how they was getting down and pattern myself off a few brothers in the neighborhood.
So tell me this. What age do you think exactly you said, damn, I'm now a gang member?
Probably like ninth grade.
Ninth grade?
Probably ninth grade, which would have been like 75.
Okay.
So it would have been like 74, 75. So before that, I was halfway in, halfway out, just dibbing and dabbing and hanging out. Like I say, trying to play sports, you know what I'm saying? And just doing both of them. You know what I'm saying? I had a gang crew and I had a sports crew. You know what I'm saying? Brothers who I went to school with. You know what I'm saying? That's why I was able. And then later on in life, that helped me. You know what I'm saying? Because I was friends with people that was in different neighborhoods. You know what I'm saying? And so I was able to maneuver and go places like a lot of my homies couldn't go.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I got a lot of brothers that was from neighborhood that used to come in our neighborhood to the store, and I used to make sure they had a pass. You know what I'm saying? I used to make sure that nobody messed with them. You know what I'm saying?
Well, see, that's one of the things that's real unique about some guys that could mingle outside of that. You know what I'm saying? Go places that other ones couldn't go, just on who they were. You know what I'm saying? And like you said, playing sports, even sports gave some of the, a pass back then.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying?
Yes, it did. Yes,
that would really gave a lot of cats passes because you can go one block or across the street, across a main street, and it was a whole nother
different neighborhood.
Yeah,
exactly.
So how did you maneuver through all of that?
I mean, like I say, just being known and knowing people. You know what I'm saying? And I had always been a fair person. You know, I never was a person that just because you stay over here in a certain neighborhood, I'm supposed to dislike you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's how I was back then. Because they used to tell me, well, if they live over there, we don't deal with them. But me and such and such played ball together. So I'm gonna deal, you know what I'm saying? I got buddies over there, you know what I'm saying? I got like over there in Bishop Hood, other side of Washington Park.
See, I gotta say that because even when I was young, you about 2 years old, older than me. It used to be a little spot called Disco in the Ghetto.
Disco in the Ghetto, yes sir.
Right up under the railroad tracks.
Yes,
that
sir.
was over in Bishop neighborhood.
In Bishop neighborhood.
And I used to say, how they let him come way over here?
We all used to go. Back then, it was more. It wasn't all this old nonsense shooting and carrying on. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It was like if you got a problem with somebody, you get out with your hands. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so it wasn't really a lot of shooting or nothing. Because if you had issues with somebody, they'd say, "Look, I got issues with such and such. We need to get out." You know what I'm saying?
Because see, the Disco in the Ghetto, you had 8th graders, 9th graders, 10th graders, and they'd be all over there. And I think the Disco in the Ghetto let out about 10.
It was from 5 to 10.
Yeah, from 5 to 10.
You take a canned good and get in.
Yeah, so they ain't got nothing like that today.
Man, nothing. Just like they don't have the Bush dance.
Yeah.
Remember Mr. Bush, who was an automotive teacher at Drew, used to clean up his shop and have dances for us up in the shop.
Kids can't enjoy that, today. It's just different. They don't have it anyway. Even though games was going on then, kids was able to travel a little bit.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Because Bush was down there off of Gage and Central. Yeah. So tell me, Kenny, did you go to high school?
Yes, sir. I went to Locke High School.
You went to Locke?
Yeah.
Yeah, because see, some was going to Locke, some going to Fremont. So now that you got over there to Locke, did you graduate?
No, I didn't graduate until I was incarcerated. And so the reason why, I was supposed to go to Fremont. So at this time, when we was in the 9th grade, everybody who played football for Drew followed Mr. Johnson, who was our football coach at Drew.
Yep.
He ended up getting the job at Locke High School as a JV coach at Locke High School.
Right.
So we got all transferred from going to Fremont.
And you pull everybody over there.
That's how we ended up going to Locke, because I supposed to went to Fremont. Like, didn't you go to Fremont?
I went to Fremont.
Supposed to went to Fremont. But we followed Mr. Johnson.
Yeah.
To Locke High School.
Mr. Johnson had a big name. He really cared about the
yes,
kids.
He did. Yes, he did. So we are, those that us played on the football team, me, J.C. Chapman, Kim Green.
Yep.
Nathan Woodard,
Oh, man. Big name.
Big Nathan Woodard, yeah. What's his name? Wolf. Oh,
Y'all was over there in the Marine. I think they call that the Marine League over there.
Yeah.
But y'all was playing San Pedro and all the
Gardena, Norvon.
Yeah.
Playing the big old Samoans back in the days, man. Yes, indeed. So that's how I ended up going to Locke. See that again. So therefore, when I went to Locke, I didn't know a whole lot of gang members from that area over there, because they was brothers that went to Locke. They was from Main Street. They was from Denver Lanes, some back streets. I think it was some.
Did none of them come out there Nickerson Gardens over there?
No, it might have been a few, but it was mainly some different lanes that was at the lot.
Well, different lanes was over there.
Yeah, there was some different lanes.
Wow.
There was some different lanes that was going there, and there was some not too many lockers. Not too many. What you say? Nixon Gardens. They went to Jordan and all over Centennial and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
How old was you when you got incarcerated?
I first got incarcerated. I was as a teenager. I got incarcerated. I got incarcerated for breaking in Russell Elementary School.
God damn. Now,
Some mischievous stuff, man, going on. Mischievous stuff. We broke in Russell and Drew. And tell me why we did it, I have no idea. I remember we was in the cooking class at Drew.
Right.
And they're cooking. Mm-hmm. And they're cooking us some food.
Right.
And we just in there eating. Some stuff, some of the city stuff kids do, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No reason. And so when we went to Russell, we got in some of the classrooms in Russell, and we had to remember the record players they used to have?
Yeah.
Them school record players?
Yeah.
I got a record player.
You took it.
I took a record player. And so I was going, so when we was leaving Russell, we had to wait till the light turned, where the tunnel was at?
Yeah.
So we waiting for the light to turn green so we can run across the street. I got a record player, some other guys got a projector, we got different types of stuff.
Right.
We run, so when the light turned green, we run across the street. And while we run across the street, a police was coming down the street, and he hit his lights. All I heard was, woo. I said, what the heck? I threw the record player. Check this out. I threw the record player, and when I threw the record player, one of my partners, it was a basketball court on Zamora right there, and he grabbed the ball and started shooting basketball. Other guys kept
he's faking like he wasn't in
he shooting basketball. A couple other guys kept on running. I turned down the alley. I started running through the alley.
Behind that auto body shop, maybe.
No.
It wasn't auto body shop. Bozo wasn't there then.
No, the alley, Bobo Alley.
Yeah.
Behind Bobo, I ran that alley. That's what it's an auto parts store right there now.
Yeah.
So I'm running down there, and when I look around, I see police running behind me. I said, "Dang, they're trying to catch me." So I'm running, and I'm running out. I'm getting away from. I'm pulling away from him. But Bobo's at police car, other car came through there and cut me off. And I'm like, oh man, so I'm caught, right? So he tell me freeze, and I throw my hands up, the other guy, police catch up, and, he throw me on the ground and they ask me, why did you tear the stop sign down? I'm looking at him like, what are you talking about? I ain't tore no stop sign down. What are you talking about? I said, man, y'all got the wrong person, man. He said, we're going to go back around there. If we see a stop sign on the ground, we're going to know.
Well, who told that then?
Nobody. Nobody told a stop sign. So in my mind, I'm saying, I hope somebody picked that record player up when we get back around there. Man, we get back around there, record player still on the ground while I threw it. Ain't nobody went back and picked it up and did nothing. So when the police get around there, they see the record player on the ground. They said, oh, it wasn't no stop sign. I said, but that ain't my record player. I said, you told me I tore down a stop sign. That's what I was messing with. There ain't even no stop sign on that corner. It's a damn light. So ain't no stop sign there, period. So I don't know where you got stop signs from. But
did you get time for that?
No. I just went slap on the hand.
Did they take you down there
they took me down.
Firestone?
They took me down to Firestone. The first time I went to Firestone, I'm sitting in the car. Somebody went around and told my father that the police had me around the corner. Because, I'm 2 blocks from the house.
Right.
So Pops came down there and asked the police, what y'all got him in the car for? They said, oh, he must have broke into the school. My daddy said, he broke into the school. He said, okay. He turned around and walked away. I looked, I said, damn, Pop just gonna leave me down there with the police, just gonna walk. Oh, I was mad. I said, well, damn. I said, I can't believe Pop's just gonna walk. I'm looking out the window like, man, where Pop's going? Ain't gonna say nothing else. Man, so I ended up going down there, and it wasn't nothing but because after they seen that Russell Elementary School on the record player, so therefore they went over there in school and looked over there, saw there's some rooms that been broken in. So so they trying to give me all the stuff because I'm the only one that got caught. Everybody else got away.
Shit! What?
Yeah, everybody else.
You wasn't fast.
Man, I was too fast. I was too fast.
You beat everybody else get away.
Everybody else get away but me.
Nigga, cause you was like
Cause the police,
a nice size.
he cut me off. The other car, I'm not telling you what behind me. If it just
why
been
you
one
trying
chasing
to
me,
jump over the gate?
it was a lot of things. I should have started playing basketball like that other fool started doing. Maybe they wouldn't even came after me.
Man.
But yeah.
So you got away with that.
Yeah, I got away with that. They gave me a slap on the wrist, you know what I'm saying?
So what did you get incarcerated for?
No, I didn't get incarcerated for that. I mean, I went to jail, but I didn't get incarcerated for that. And the second time I went to jail, I got kicked out of Locke High School. I got kicked out of Locke High School for selling, for shooting dice. We was shooting dice.
That's it?
Man, we had
They gonna kick you out of school.
Kick me out of school
for shooting dice.
But it was other factors. It was other factors when we was out. It was other factors because they said I was somewhat being a menace at the school.
Were you being a menace?
Yes, I was being a menace. You know, first of all, I'm at a school where my gang ain't running nothing up there, and so it's just a couple of us. I don't know if you knew Rodney Vaughn.
I'm not sure.
Rodney Vaughn. Me and Rodney Vaughn was real tight. Rodney Vaughn, from the name.
So it wasn't many of y'all.
No, not in Locke High School. So so we.
So how in the hell you being a menace up there?
Because I had to do extra stuff to keep them fools off me. You know, got to play smart, man. You know what I'm saying? So you got to go up there acting like a fool. You understand?
Right.
You know, then I'm acting like a fool. Then I'm playing football too. You know what I'm saying? And so it was, we get caught shooting. I mean, it wasn't the first time we got caught shooting dice. It was a couple of times. So this time everybody got caught shooting dice. They kicked us all out of school. I ended up going to Southgate.
You went to Southgate?
I went to Southgate.
Damn.
I went to Southgate.
You mean they let your ass in there?
Let my ass in Southgate. And I should have did good when I was in Southgate. Because I had two square cousins that was going to Southgate.
Right.
I should have been squared up like them. But now I'm over here and a bunch of Latinos at the school, you know what I'm saying?
So now you about 16, 17.
Yeah.
What in the hell are you doing in the neighborhood? If you a gang member at that time?
Yeah, I'm posing as a gang member, yeah.
So you wasn't 100?
No, I wasn't 100.
But you was flirting?
Oh, yeah, I was flirting. You know what I'm saying? Because like I say, I was dipping and dabbing trying to play sports and that type of stuff, you know what I'm saying? Shedding the fence, crossing the fence, what you call that shit? Straddling the fence, you understand me?
I was straddling the fence. So other kids in the neighborhood, did they think you was banging?
Oh yeah, the ones that was involved, yeah. The ones that was involved.
He in.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He in. You know, then I start getting that name. Smokey. They start calling me Smokey.
But another niggas knew Kenneth Riley.
Yeah, I'm saying, yeah.
It ain't like, you wasn't like the nice guy now, nigga. Quit acting like you. I'm just playing football and I just broke in Russell. I didn't have no fights. I'm just nice. I was just straddling the fence. That's just kind of shit you making it sound like. I know damn well.
No, but it wasn't never. I was never scared to fight. So that was a problem.
This is what I'm saying.
I was never scared to fight. You know what I'm saying? So I guess that's what made me a good candidate to represent the neighborhood over there, outside of the neighborhood. And but I just couldn't understand it because I dated girls in other neighborhoods. I was able to go to. I dated girls in Swan neighborhood. I dated girls in 8-9 neighborhood. I dated girls from across the tracks.
Well, how in the hell you get to the girl?
Man, at the school, from school.
I mean, but I'm saying, well, how you get to see her?
I mean, because I had the relationship with different people.
Yeah.
I had a relationship with different people, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so my relationship allowed me to go places, like I said before. Allowed me to go places that everybody couldn't go.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'll be over there something by the neighborhood, they'll be like, man, ain't that fool from the kitchen? No, that's Smoke. He ain't, he cool. He
right.
He ain't come over here tripping, you know what I'm saying? He trying to see old girl. Ooh, they wasn't tripping back then, you know what I'm saying? And I was a likable person, you know what I'm saying?
Yes,
I was a likable person.
Yeah. Well, nigga, you come from a good family.
Yeah, exactly. My mother and father, man, they're old school, man, and pops didn't do nothing but go to work.
And you looking across that goddamn street.
Looking across that street at these fools drinking and having a bar.
And you want to drink.
I want to drink. I want to be over there smoking cigarettes and smoking weed. I was like, man, they just having so much fun, you know what I'm saying? I just used to be mad.
The bad people.
Yeah, you know, the bad people, the bad dudes in the neighborhood. So when I was able to sneak out the house sometimes and go over there and be with them, it was cool, you know. But I got to sneak back in the house so Pops don't hear me, you know what I'm saying? I got to sneak, make sure my daddy and my mama don't hear me creeping up in the house, and sometimes my sister would play crazy and lock the door on me.
Well, tell me about the first time you had to go to Y80.
Oh, shit. Well, I had to go to
Oh,
Y.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Here to go. Here to shit. Finna go down, Buddha. Wake up, nigga.
At this time, I had become one of the, because a lot of the older cats in my neighborhood was in jail. And so I became one of the head dudes in my neighborhood at this time. I was like 18, probably. I was like 18.
How the hell you can become the head dude 18 years old?
Because everybody else
made a name for yourself.
Yeah, I had made a name for myself, you know what I'm saying? And everybody else, all the older cats was locked up. And so we was in charge. Me, Michael Abram, we called him Slip, you know what I'm saying? Michael Beckett, Little Beaver. You know, we became the Ning Ting. We became the older cats. We were the older dudes now.
Y'all moving on up.
We moving on up. We older dudes, and everybody else is up under us. You know, and so we got an issue the youngsters got an issue up at Drew, and so they came around to my house because I think I was going to trade school or something at that time. I think I was in trade school in Long Beach, but I had to not go that day, and so they ran around to my mama's house and asked me. They told me, man, and the bishop dudes from the bishop supposed to be coming up here jumping on us. I said, they supposed to come up and jumping on y'all. I said, oh, okay. Well, I'll be up there. I'll be up to Drew after school. So after school,
now you 18, 19.
Yeah.
Drew 12, 13, 14.
Junior high school.
But you gonna go up there.
I'm gonna go up there because they telling me these bishops is coming over there to jump on them.
Right.
You know, so we get up there. I take a group to the front gate, and when my homeboy, Ning Ting, took another group to the back gate.
Y'all go block it in.
Yeah, so we trying to, you know, come from all angles, right?
Right.
So we waiting for the bishop to show up. So next thing I know, the guys that went to the back gate come running to the front gate. I said, what's going on? I said, the bishop's back there? They said, no, security ran us up out of there. You know, I forgot the security guard name was Cotton.
Was Lurch there at that time?
Yeah, Lurch was there, and Cotton was there. And then so they said Cotton had made them leave from out there, about the gym field, made them leave, told them to get off the campus and chase them off, and hit Ning Ting in the head with a billy club. So they said, man, yeah, the dude Cotton, he hit Ning Ting in the head with a billy club. I said, where Ning Ting at? Ning Ting come, we finally get up there to where I'm at, and he said, man, yeah, he had a knot on his head. I said, man, so I'm like, he said, and so everybody looking at me like, what we gonna do? You know, me, damn, I got to do something. So everybody looking at me, said, what we gonna do? I said, we gonna get that food. So when I said we gonna get that food, now mind you, I ain't got no gun on me. All of a sudden, the youngster had me a pistol. He said, well, you might need this, Smoke. Because you know he got a pistol on him. So you know Cotton got a gun.
Yeah, yeah.
So he had me a little Chrome 32.
Oh, y'all gonna have a shootout.
Yeah, so I said, so
with the school security.
Yeah, so everybody looking at me. I said, so I take it. I said, come on. We go over there, we cross the street from Drew, and they letting out. Then they say, somebody point. They said, there he go right there. He at the front of the school, right? I looked. Everybody said, what you gonna do, Smoke? What you gonna do? So I said, I'm gonna get him. I'm playing the tough guy, you know what I'm saying? So I get to the side of the building, and I'm trying to aim. I'm finna shoot him. I'm finna shoot at him or something, you know, I'm finna shoot him.
Right.
I'm across the street trying to get me a good aim with this 357. And I look, and as soon as I finna pull the trigger, somebody walked right in front of me. So I do like this with the gun and shoot in the air.
Right.
And when I shoot in the air,
heard it.
Cotton heard it. He dropped down on one of the lead, pulled his cannon out, and looked over there where he heard the shots from. He saw us over there. They started shooting at us.
What?
Cannon, boom, boom. We said, whoa. So I'm running and shooting. I take off running, and I'm running and shooting. That's shooting, and then they shoot my face, you know. I'm just shooting and trying to get to the house. So as we all running back to the house, towards the house, I hits my back gate right through. So when I get to Plexica, a block before Zamora,
Right.
I throw the gun in these bushes. I throw the gun in the bushes, and I keep running. Excuse me. I keep running, and I go through the alley, and go to my back, cop my back fence, go to my back door, and I've been running. So I'm sweating and I'm breathing hard. My mama in there to my boy, what's wrong with you? What you running up in here for? I said, oh, I ain't did nothing, Mama. I ain't doing nothing. I'm just tired. She said, what you running for? I said, nothing. So I gets up in the house and I change my clothes real fast, and I can hear these sirens and shit. I can hear the sirens going up and down the street and carrying on. So I done changed my clothes,
Right.
come outside with a robe on. And I come to my front yard, I'm just looking, right? And I'm looking at the police looking at the police driving up and down. They trying to catch fools, they just driving. All of a sudden I look, and the police car coming down the street in front of the house. I see one of the little homies in the back seat, and the little homie that's in the back seat, he got my jacket on. I gave him my jacket, and in my jacket, I had some shells for the gun. So I'm looking, I see this fool in the back seat, and he looking like a wet puppy sitting in that back seat because he was a youngster. He was probably like 15, something like that, 15, 16, somewhere around up in there. And I look at him, he looking back there, sad as a dough, and I said, oh, shit. And I caught this nigga, and he got my coat with my bullets in it. So I said, oh, what this nigga gonna do? So then I'm looking at the street where I threw the gun in the bushes. And I look, I see my sister down there. My sister was pregnant at the time.
Right.
You know my sister, Yvonne. So I see my sister, and all of a sudden, somebody told the police where I threw that gun at the area, because the police was over there searching. Right where I threw the gun at. Police was over there searching, and but my sister was down there too.
Right.
All of a sudden, my sister come walking back, and my sister said, "Here go your gun." And I'm like, "Girl, how you get that?" And the police down there looking for it. She said, "I got it." I said, "Girl, I don't want this. I don't want it. I don't want it." So it was a dude that was down there named Ronnie. He was from 76 East Coast. I told Ronnie, get that gun to Ronnie. Ronnie, take that gun down into your neighborhood.
And he's from 76.
Yeah, he's from 76, Ronnie, little Ronnie. I told him, take that gun on down there to your neighborhood. So Ronnie took the gun on down to his neighborhood. And so I'm looking out, we chilling. So a couple of days, this was on Friday. That Saturday or Sunday, the police knocked on my mom and them door. I wasn't there. I was at my baby mama house, and mom called me and said, boy, the police just came over here looking for you. I said, just came over here looking for me for what? They said, you shot up at the school. I said, well, I ain't shot up at no school. My mama, no, I ain't shot up at no school. What are they talking about? She said, I don't know, but the detective left his card and said, you need to come down there and see him, or if they see you on the streets, anything can happen. I'm saying, ooh, I'm like, damn.
So how old were you when you had this first kid?
I was 18.
You had the first child at 18.
Child at 18, yeah.
You was the man now.
I got a son. I had my first son when I was 18. I had heard all these rumors and stuff that, the dude that they called Rocky, he had told the police that was my gun, my shells. It was my shells that he was carrying in that jacket, because that was my jacket, and I'm the one that's supposed to have shot at Cotton. And then Cotton didn't like me. Me and him didn't like each other no way, because I was dating a girl and he was dating a girl mama. So he used to tell her mama, you need to stop her from dating that dude, because he's a known gang member over there. He's one of the shot callers over there, and she's hanging around with him. She's gonna get her ass in trouble. So the mama used to try to tell her, you need to leave me alone, you know what I'm saying? She was young, and she told me about, what he used to tell her mama. And so me and him had words a couple of times. I said, man, you can stay out of my business, you know what I'm saying? So me and didn't like each other. So when somebody told him that I was the one that shot at him, so he like, that's who was doing the shooting, you know what I'm saying? That's the one who was trying to shoot me? So, he was ticked off. So that Monday, I told myself, I'm just gonna go on down there to the sheriff's station, talk to the detectives, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just gonna thinking I'm gonna talk my way up out of this shit.
And what happened?
I'm talking to them,
They arrest your ass?
Yeah, arrest me. As soon as I told my name, they took me to the back, and that's why I found out that my boy had told. And,
this is him?
Yeah, and then Cotton, about him, somebody told him that I was the one. He didn't see who shot at him. He didn't know who shot at him. He going by what somebody said. So in the lineup, he picked me up out the lineup. Now they had me in the lineup, and he said, yeah, that's the one who shot. That's the one who shot. So I'm like, man, this man ain't seen me shoot at him. There was too many people over there, you know what I'm saying? He don't know who was shooting. By somebody that told the word out that I was the one, that's what he ran with, you know what I'm saying? So I end up, getting locked up and end up going to Norwalk. They sent me to the youth authority, and I was in the county jail.
So what kind of time they gave you at the youth authority?
They gave me 3.5 years.
What?
3.5 years for shooting at a security, because I didn't hit him. If I'd have hit him.
Shit, how much time did you do?
2 or 9 months.
Well, shit, that's long enough.
Yeah, 2 years and 9 months.
1 day is too long.
Yes, indeed. So during that time, they were trying to send me to the penitentiary for 10 years.
God.
Because shooting at security guard is damn near like shooting at the police.
Yeah.
A peace officer. They was a peace officer. So my lawyer said they put this is my first real serious offense. They tried to offer me a deal. They said you can go to YA and you probably get out in 2 years. You know what I'm saying? I said, oh, shit, okay, what I got to do? He said, you just got to plead guilty. I said, fuck it. I was saying to myself, I did the shit.
Now, when you went down there to YA, was you still claiming ASAP?
Oh, it was definitely claiming when I went up there. Shit. That's where all the bankers was at. Shit.
In the jailhouse?
Yeah, that's where all the bankers was at.
They was able to lift weights and all that shit.
Yeah, we were lifting weights and we was doing all, that was gladiator school for real. Your brother was up in there when I went up in there.
Now, don't tell the damn people my folks up in there.
Yeah, your folks.
Oh, man.
Philip was up in there, man. Come on, man.
Wait a minute, man. This is about you, Smokey.
My boy Philip. And I see my boy Philip. What's up, baby? We east side up in there. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, we up in there. So, so I get down there, see all the...
It is trifling,
Yeah, we was up and had a ball, man. Then they had, up where I was at TS,
So once you got there and you see what was going on, it was like, oh, shit, I'm on vacation.
I'm on vacation, you know what I'm saying? It's cool. I mean, I be having a ball. Only thing we missing is girls. You know
right.
But then we get the girls once a month. We get a dance.
Is that right?
Yeah, once a month. Each unit get a chance to have a dance. You can invite 2 girls. Everybody can invite 2 girls to come to the dance. Oh, we was having a ball up in there, man. So,
I thought y'all supposed to be in jail.
Yeah, we was in jail. But shit, that's how they was doing the youth authority back then, man.
Right.
But I was trying to go to Ventura. Yes, Ventura was co-ed. It was co-ed facility. Girls and dudes there.
Why they gonna have a damn jail with co-ed?
Yeah, but Ventura, it was a college program. Oh, and so if you score high enough, you get action and go into this place. Going to Ventura. I scored high enough. I wasn't no dummy. I scored high enough, but they said, no, we ain't letting you go. You supposed to be a gang leader. Man, come on, man. So they didn't let me go. I was mad, I said, man, because I got a homeboy, they made a baby up in Ventura. He got a baby from out of Ventura. He started dating a girl up in there. Yeah. And he ended up getting her pregnant up in there. She got a son. Damn. She had a son up in there. So, man, it was going down up in Ventura. But I ended up staying at TS. At TS, we had football. We had a football team. Every unit had a football team, tackle football team, and then we had a semi-pro team for Orange County called Orange Crust that used to come in and play too. So we had a good football. We had a nice little football league up in there, and I was a running back. You know what I'm saying? I was a running back on my team, and on my team, I got Bloods on the team, I got Crips on the team, got Mexicans on the team. We all cool, you know what I'm saying? Right. On the unit, we might be tripping on each other, but on that football field, we a team, you know what I'm saying? We on K&L, we on the team. And we had one of the coldest teams there, you know what I'm saying? We beat everybody but that Orange Crush. Orange Crush was whooping everybody up in there. But everybody else in the facility.
So tell me, Smoke, now it's time to get up out this money.
Well,
you gonna turn in your game banging card, or you didn't want to stop?
Oh yeah, I definitely wanted to stop. I thought when I was getting up, before that, I had to exit. I was boxing too.
Oh yeah.
I was on the boxing team up in there. Me and Henry Tillman.
Yeah. Henry.
Me and Henry Tillman. Because Tillman was up in there also. Mm-hmm. I was Tillman's sparring partner when he was in TS. And so Smitty, who was the coach, because Tillman had left like a year before I got out. I said, man, Tillman finna go to the Olympics. I was like, what? I said, man, you finna go to the Olympics? He said, yeah, man. Smitty.
Nigga went from jail to the Olympics.
Went to jail to the Olympics, and I was like, we was like, man, go do your thing, man. You do your thing.
Yeah.
And that's how he ended up beating Tyson 2 out of 3 times. That's how he ended up going to the Olympics, and Tyson didn't go. That's why he went. You know what I'm saying? And won that gold medal. So but when they left, and that coach left, there was another coach came up in there named Rob, and so Rob he started up the boxing team, and I was his head person when he started the team. And I was his #1 fighter and shit. So I was still fighting.
Right.
So I'm like, man, I'm getting down with this boxing. So I'm saying to myself, they tell me, when you get out, come on over here to 108th and Broadway, man.
Yeah.
Let's come up with Smitty, man. We can do something, get out when you get out. So I'm saying to myself, yeah, when I get out, I'm gonna stick with this boxing.
Right.
I'm gonna stick with this boxing. I ain't finna go.
So now you get out.
I get out in 82, end of 82. I start going to the gym on 108th and Broadway with Tillman and them. I'm over there training with them, just getting down, and then I'm going to Cal State, LA. Going to Cal State, LA.
Why you went all the way over there?
Because I got in over there.
Oh, okay.
That's where I got in at. I got me a financial aid to go over there to Cal State, LA. I just catch the bus. Everybody like, Smoke, what's going on, baby? You ain't trying to hang out? I said, man, no, but I ain't trying to go. I'm trying to stay out. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to do something positive. I ain't trying to go back to that shit house.
Right, right.
I'm cool.
You didn't want to go back.
I don't want to go back, man. I done gave them 2.5 years of my time. I'm cool. I don't want to go do that shit no more. So I'm trying to go, I'm trying to do something else.
That's right.
So I'm going to school and I'm going over to training boxing. Me and my girlfriend got into it. I ended up breaking my wrist. So I didn't want to knock her upside the head. I hit the refrigerator and broke my wrist. So now my wrist messed up. I'm like, man, shit. So I'm going to, they said, what's up, man? I said, man, I broke my wrist. They got my wrist in the cast. And so now I'm getting lazy. I'm just going.
This is a question right here now, Smoke. Mm-hmm. You out of jail. You got a woman. Got a kid.
Yeah. Working on my second kid now.
Well, nigga, when you getting some money? You just was broke?
Yeah. No, I was going to school and I end up working there. No, I forgot what I was. So that's what it was. And they came into me with an opportunity to make some money. He said, man, now I'm selling a little weed, selling a little PCP.
What?
We had one of the cooks that stayed in the neighborhood.
What?
That's when the water was
right.
Was
yeah.
So, you know what I'm saying? Get you a little half ounce of water and go to work. Stand out there on Central and make your break.
So you knew how to hustle a little bit.
Oh yeah, you know what I'm saying? I know how to hustle. I knew how. So that was my get out right then, So I'm doing that.
So don't be acting like hustling.
I come from a lot of help. I got cousins and stuff, that was all older than me that was already hustling and doing stuff, and I got a cousin that was pimping, and I did a little dib and dab and a little pimping, you know what I'm saying? I did a little dib and dab and a little pimping, you know what I'm saying? Got the girls.
Did you know T-Mac?
Yeah, no, come on, man. I raised T-Mac. Yeah, I know T-Mac. T-Mac, Teddy, now we all, I know all them.
Well, because T-Mac thought he was a pimp.
Yeah. Hey, he still do. But he married to my homegirl, yeah. So he married to my homegirl right now.
So he done gave his car, he driving the tow truck or something.
Yeah, he got a tow truck, he got a tow truck.
Yeah, but I remember young man.
But back then, they like that. Yeah, well, he wanted, he tried his hand because his first baby mama, they always, he had a couple of girls out there. He had a couple of girls out there.
I know he had one real nice, I don't want to say Snow. You know what I'm saying, Snowbody.
But he ended up having 2 kids by her too.
Yeah, well, some of them fall in love with their girls.
Yeah, man, exactly. So that's how I get out. That was a get out.
But she wasn't bad looking.
No.
She was fine. I gotta give him that credit. Yeah. She was thick and fine, so that was different for the neighborhood because there wasn't a lot of that in the neighborhood, because our neighborhood was 99% black.
Yes, indeed. Yes,
so if you get one white girl over there, that was like, wow, what he doing? Where he find that? That's what I was wanting to know. Who, what?
But she was hood. She was hood.
Was she hood?
She was hood. Yeah, she was hood.
I wonder
All the
what
way
neighborhood
she was.
he went to.
Yeah, she was hood though. But so that's what So that's what I was. I ended up when I broke my wrist. I just started getting into all this other hustling.
Mm-hmm. Were you a good hustler?
I tried to be.
Well, if you was great, if you're great at yourself, what you give yourself?
Oh, 8.
So of A, B, C, or D?
Yeah, A, B, C, C.
You give yourself a C?
Yeah.
So you didn't fail at it?
No.
You didn't fail. Okay.
Because I believe anytime when you fail is when you become one of your best customers. And I wasn't messing with it.
You wouldn't smoke no PCP or nothing like that.
I seen what it did to the mother foods. And
Yeah.
I had a brother. I got an older brother that was on the heroin, so I saw what heroin did to him.
Yeah.
So drugs were never my thing. I stopped smoking weed when I was 17.
Is that right?
Yeah, I stopped smoking weed when I was 17, man. It made me feel funny, so it made me be goofy.
I don't want the people to know, but I smoked the hell out of it.
I stopped at 17.
Maybe I better strike that. I was smoking the hell out of the smoke.
Yeah, I wasn't. And everybody used to think, man, you don't smoke no weed. No, man, I stopped at 17.
Were you drinking?
No, I was drinking, but I wasn't drinking heavy.
Just sipping.
Just sipping, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't drinking heavy. I used to keep a bottle of Remy in my pocket.
Yeah, that was my drink too.
Yeah, you used to keep a bottle.
Now, why people that ain't got too much money want an expensive drink like Remy? Why we could go and get some?
Because Hennessy used to make me, I have a headache with Hennessy.
Right.
I was drinking Hennessy at first, but then I wake up in the morning, my head be hurting, so I moved over to the cognac.
Yeah, no, that Remy was the best one.
Most smooth, exactly. See, And at our liquor store, the man at the liquor store used to keep mine on ice. He keep me bottles in there.
Well, that was y'all hood. That liquor store was
Kitchen
like...
liquor store.
Kitchen liquor store.
So they kept, the guys up in there, all you got to do is say you come and get a bottle for Smokey. He ain't going to give you no bottle off the counter. He going to give you a bottle out the refrigerator. You know what I'm saying? And so I said, tell him you come to pick up one for Smokey. He going to give you a cold one. Give me a cold one back, you know what I'm saying? I was see Johnny, brother Don. Did you know Johnny McNeil and Donald Loggins and them?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. See, at the 8-9 liquor store, they just keep theirs on ice down.
Is that right?
Yeah, they just keep theirs on
now,
ice.
see, that's what I'm saying. You got Kitchen Liquor Store on 87th and Central. You got 8-9 Liquor Store on 89th and Central. That's 2 blocks. That's how crazy it seemed. It wasn't crazy. Because there was so many brothers in the hood at that time.
Yeah.
I mean, every street might have had about 10 or 15 young men on them. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't, it was packed.
Yeah.
You go outside on the block, a whole lot of brothers on the block. So every street you go to, it was a gang of brothers. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. And see, and before I went to jail, it's just a thing, before I went to jail, we all in that neighborhood, in that gang, on the Crip side, on our side of Central, was the Crip side, because the other side of Central was the Blood side. We all got along. We all hung together. 8-9 and Kitchen used to be tight. Me, Duck, Wolf, all that, we all ran together before I went to jail.
Well, it wasn't like y'all just a block away.
Exactly, I'm saying, but we all. This is before. Excuse me.
Move that mic away a little bit.
This is before East Coast, because it was just 8-9 neighborhood.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It was just 8-9 neighborhood. Wasn't no 8-9 East Coast. They weren't coasters then. 8-9 neighborhood.
Right.
We was Kitchen 8-9 was tight as hell. At one point, we was finna join together, and so Wolf and them was talking about we gonna be neighborhood kitchens. I said, no, we gonna be kitchen neighborhoods. So we was going back and forth like that. And then we just said, forget it. Y'all just say 8-9 in neighborhood. We just gonna say 8-7 kitchen. So we gonna leave it like that.
Right.
We ain't finna do all that. So, but yeah, we was real tight. And then we threw tussles with each other behind some dumb stuff, you know what I'm saying? But it never,
the trip part about it at that time, a lot of them brothers went to the same school.
Exactly. We all was saying, and they tell you, this dude from over there that I helped start, made them fight. I don't know if you know CJ. CJ, he'd tell anybody, he from 8-9. When he had his first fight, I'm the one that made him fight the dude. He was scared to fight this dude up under the tunnel. And I told him, I said, CJ.
That tunnel was something else.
That tunnel was something. So the dude kept picking with CJ. I told CJ, man, you can get that food, CJ. He's like, man, I don't want to fight him, man. CJ, you can get him. Telling you, just go and get down, man, and just, keep your swinging on. CJ got out with the boy and whooped him real tough. Boy ain't stopped fighting since. You know what I'm saying? After that, he was the man over there in 89.
So tell me, Smokey, do you know what your first job was?
I had a job when I was 17.
Whoa, okay.
Working with my father. At 17, because I was like dropping out of school.
Mm-hmm.
At 17, my father got me a job with him in Bell, Vernon, city of Vernon. He worked at a steel place where they made airplane parts called Lattice.
Well, what the hell happened?
I was making too much money and wanting to be in them girls had me with my nose wide open and I couldn't get up and go to work like I was supposed to.
Well, PP just took over.
Just took over, That's when I moved.
I
moved out the house. I moved out the house at 17. I moved out the house and moved my first son, mama. Moved in the house with her and her mama now, down in the 60s, you know what I'm saying?
They let you move in?
Yeah, shit, my mama was cool. Shit, mama was cool.
You can't just be moving up in these girls' mother's house these days.
Because her older sister, dude used to be over there, staying all the night over there. I used to go home at first. But the sister who he was going with, he was from Compton. And so one night...
He's staying all night?
Yeah, so one night I'm over there kicking because the mama stayed downstairs. She never did come upstairs. And all their bedrooms was upstairs. So one night, it's like 10, 11 o'clock. I'm finna go home, so I ain't finna try to be staying up in there. So he tell me, man, why you going home? I said, man, I don't want Carrie Bear catch me up here, you know what I'm saying? She said, man, he said, Carrie Bear don't never come up here. I said, huh? He said, man, Carrie Bear don't never come up here. You can stay up here all, she only come up here and look and see, she don't do none of that. I said, for real? So I said, shit. So I looked at her, I said, you think she said, she said, I don't care. I stayed all night. I started staying up night. Mama, she knew we was up there. Because see now, like I said, my girl.
And you moved in.
Her bedroom was above her mama. So I said, girl, you making too much noise in this damn bed. I know your mama hear me up in this bed. that young sex, man, we up here. I'm trying to tear the backboard off. So I come downstairs, and the mama started bringing her youngest. She started coming upstairs. She's go to work. Before she go to work in the morning, she bring her baby upstairs for my girl to keep him while she go to work. So what I used to do at first, I'd leave out the room with her and go in the room with her brother. See, it was her, one of her sisters, it was 3 beds, and her brother. Brother had his room. He had twin beds in his room. So I would get up in the morning and go over there in his bedroom and get one of the beds in his bedroom so I wouldn't be in the room when her mama came up there to bring her little brother up there.
Right.
This one particular time, I couldn't get up. I forgot. And she came in there and she said, scoot over so I can put Mikey in the bed. I said, huh?
Who was Mikey?
The little brother. My girl, she had a little brother. Brother that was younger than her and was younger than them. And her mama brought him up there and told me to scoot over so she can put him in the bed. I just scooted on over, scared to death, like she's gonna bust me upside my head. I'm in the bed with her daughter. After that, I was in, you know what I'm saying? I said, girl, your mama just brought Mikey up in here. She said, you were still in the bed? I said, yeah. I said, it was cool. After that, it was cool sailing. After that, mama used to let me just kick it. So I ended up moving in. And when I ended up moving in, I wouldn't get up for work.
Oh, now wait a minute.
Now I was 17.
What made you not get up for work?
My check, I bring home every Friday. I was bringing home $800-something at 17.
Well, here is the question. What made you not?
Lazy, hanging out, still going to the neighborhood, shooting dice, try to go in the house at 12, 1 o'clock in the morning, and got to be up at 6 o'clock in the morning. Wasn't happening, you know what I'm saying?
Start missing work.
Then she'd tell me, my girl, she would tell me, you ain't got to go to work, just stay in the bed anyway.
What?
Oh yeah, she was retarded. I listened to her, but she had me messed all up. You don't got to go to work, just stay here with me. That's why I ended up putting that baby in her butt, because we weren't doing nothing like rabbits up in there, you know what I'm saying?
Man. So how many babies you have with her?
I got one, my first son.
So now you done lost that job. You done tried to hustle.
Pop's mad at me.
Yeah. You done tried to hustle. You done did some hustling. I don't want to talk about did you go out of state or anything like that. I know some of the kitchens did, but I ain't gonna go there.
Yeah.
I don't want to put them on the block. What was the next job? Yeah, you got kids. You got a couple of kids. How you gonna take care of them?
So I ended up going back to jail. I was out of jail for a year. I ended up going back to jail in '84 because I got caught selling PCP.
Damn.
I got caught selling PCP in '84.
Trying to get that money.
Trying to get that money through my lawyer got to throw it out.
Mm-hmm.
They sent me back to YA for a violation. I was in contact with the police, even though I beat the case, because the police couldn't.
How long you stay?
Stayed a year. I got out 85. I just went back for a violation, to a year violation, and I was out in 85. I was done with YA at that. I was 25. I was done with YA. Got out. So when I get out this time, like you said,
still active?
No, this time.
Are you still a gang member?
I know I'm not really. I think my mind is on something else. My mind is on money. It's 85.
Yeah,
my mind is on
everybody
paper.
was trying to get that money in, man.
So when I get out of 85, this is when I learned about crack, cocaine.
What?
This is when I learned, 85 is when I learned about the cocaine. And before I went to jail, we weren't selling no, say we were selling water. I had a few people that were selling some cocaine. I wasn't selling nothing.
Right.
I was selling water. So when I get out in 85, I get introduced to the crack game.
It was popping.
Oh, it was popping. So I had a partner. His life is well told because he was one of the big dudes over there on the east side, Melvin Butler.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, I was me and Melvin in the same grade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Melvin was my boy because I used to look out for Melvin. So I used to look out for Melvin, you know what I'm saying? When I came home, everybody told me, you know your boy Melvin got it going on. I said, what? Mel? Basketball shooting Mel? You know, because Mel was, he played pretty boy, played ball, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm hearing all this, Mel. So I seen him in a Seville. And he got a Seville from his daddy when his daddy died. But they said, your boy Mel got the set. I said, my Mel? So let me holler at Mel. So I seen him one day, and he seen me, oh, you out of jail? I said, yeah, man, what's up, baby, you good? He said, yeah, man, I'm just out here trying to do something, man. Just came home. He said, man, come see me. So I said, come see. He said, man, come to my mom's house. I knew his mom lived over there on 93rd. And he told me, he said, man, come on, come through. Come on mom's house, man, and holler at me. So, all right, man, I'm coming through to holler at you. I go over there, man, and a boy laced me. I ain't know what was going on, right? So what I'm supposed to do with this? I ain't never rocked nothing up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I ain't never did no cooking or none of that shit, you know what I'm saying? I mean, at one point, I might have snorted a couple sticks for a while.
Yeah.
But what he gave me, I ain't never saw this much, you know what I'm saying? At one time, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, man, what I'm gonna do with this shit? He said, man, don't worry about it. Go back to your hood. Somebody gonna show you what you do with that, you know what I'm saying? So I say, cool, all right. So I go back and look up one of the partners and hold the cat, and he said, man, I got two whoop. How you turn this shit into rock, you know what I'm saying? He said, oh, man, come on, show you. I got my lessons that night, you know what I'm saying? Took an ounce of that and got my little lesson on. I said, oh, okay. And what we gonna do with this? He said, you can cut that shit up, So I'm cutting, and I'm looking, and I said, man, how much I got right there, He said, man, you got like $600-700. I said, what? That's $600-700. He said, yeah, you still got some more over here. I said, how much do I make off this shit? I'm like, whoa. I said, what? I said, this is what they own now, right? Man, we was over there on Wadsworth, 87.
By Jack?
That's where I was at, Big Jack House. That's why I the one started Big Jack. Big Jack used to sell color TVs at first, you know that? Big Jack used to have a group of burglars used to go steal, breaking houses and bring them all the TVs, and Jack used to sell color TVs
what?
and shit. And I'm the first one to start rocks up out of his house.
Yeah, Jack turned into a,
Yeah, that's my boy. Jack called me Jesus, man. That's my boy, man. So yeah, I've got it over there cracking at Jack House, man. I'm like, oh, it's coming through here, man. I'm like, man.
it was coming through Jack's spot.
So I'm like, the first little package I got, I'm asking my boy, he told me, Smoke, you don't owe me nothing. You don't owe me nothing. That's you. Do your thing, man. He said, when you want to do something else, then, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Bring, what you want. You pay for it then. I said, okay, cool, man. Man, I took that first little thing. Oh, shit. Went back and paid for 9 of them. So now I'm going. I'm on the road now, you know what I'm saying? So I started out with nothing, so everything is a plus for me, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, then that's when everybody talking about, that's when we had the little strawberry pack. That's when they said, man, the girls will do what? They do what? Oh, let me keep these crumbs over here. You know, it's going down like that. What's a strawberry? Okay, okay. It was
on.
It was on.
Yeah.
Like Donkey Kong, right?
Man.
Yeah, so this is like 86, 87, you know what I'm saying? And so I'm doing my thing and, pockets are getting fat, I'm just, I'm good, I'm living good, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm starting to see it, you know what I'm saying? And so I'm being cool, ain't trying to do too much, you know what I'm saying? And like you say, that out of town shit, man, they end up doing that. Did that a couple times and stuff got real hectic, man.
Oh yeah, I know they had they city they went to state. Yeah. The thing is, what made you become a gang activist at one time? You should start wanting to help get these brothers together and get them off of gang banging and things like that.
Because I had seen after doing this, because I saw when the crack epidemic really hit South Central, it was a lot of brothers that crossed lines that was from different neighborhoods.
Yeah, it really did.
So it wasn't about no gang; it was about money.
Yeah.
When I saw that, I'm doing deals with Bloods. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No.
We doing enemies. At one time we was enemies, but this money. We wasn't no enemies no more.
Yeah.
So we our common goal was getting that green.
Because the bigger big gang members start making big money.
Exactly.
And so
it's like, man, ain't that dude from man? Don't worry about that, man. We taking care of business.
Yeah.
Don't come over here tripping. Don't do no tripping when you see. Bag up off of that. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no set tripping like that. So when we start telling the youngsters that type of shit, that was like, man, look. Listen to what I'm telling y'all, man. Y'all might learn something, you know what I'm saying? You understand? You got to realize, man, at some point in your life, you got to realize, man, gang banging ain't going to get you nowhere. You got to realize, man, that this money...
But it took a special leader to want to be a gang activist. You know what I'm saying? People had to look up to them or believe in what they trying to do.
Exactly. See, I knew at that time that I had a lot of youngsters in my neighborhood that used to look up to me. You know what I'm saying? I knew a lot of them, reason why they was gang banging, because I made it look good to them when I was gang banging. And so then when I started selling drugs, I made that look good to them. So a lot of them followed me over there. So I knew I was influenced on a lot of youngsters in my neighborhood, you know what I'm saying?
So you was a leader.
Yeah, so
Did you know you was a leader?
I had a feeling. I wouldn't say I was a leader, but I was an influencer.
Well, if you can influence, then you lead.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I was never no follower. I'd never claimed to be the baddest person in the neighborhood.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. Even if it's a group and people believe that their leaders come in different ways.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? That's why some people got to understand. Even in the working world, it's no one leader in the family.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
And then I always tell brothers, man, in order to be a good leader, you have to be a follower first.
Exactly. That's right. That's right.
If you don't learn, because the first.
Now you said something damn good right there.
Yeah, it's real good shit.
If you're gonna become a good leader, at one point you have to be a good follower.
Be a good follower.
A lot of people don't know that.
You don't want to, and see that would happen. That's when the gang got messed up. Don't nobody want to be no followers. They think they're gonna be a leader straight off the pot. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it don't work like that, man. Come on, you can't do it like that.
Well, you got to learn somewhere. So
that's why you used to have a lot of youngsters to challenge older cats. You know what I'm saying? You got a lot of youngsters used to want to challenge older cats. First of all, so I used to stop them in their tracks because I had a few of them that try to challenge me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I'm like, come on, bro. You ain't been in this long enough to want to challenge me with this here, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Your name ain't ringing loud as mine. You ain't the man. I don't care how much you got.
Right.
That don't mean nothing. You know what I'm saying? To me,
right.
You know what I'm saying? You got, okay, I see you got it going on, but you ain't running nothing.
Right.
Man, you don't know what you're talking about, OG. Man, calm down, bro. And see, then they end up getting their ass in trouble because they don't know how to listen. They're going to get the big head. See, I never did get the big head. You know You know what I'm saying? I kept my stuff level, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't trying to be the biggest drug dealer in the neighborhood.
Right,
You know what I'm saying? I mean, just like I wasn't trying to be the biggest gang member in the neighborhood.
Right,
You know what I'm saying? Give me my respect, I'm gonna give you your respect, you understand me? So, and that's why I never went to the penitentiary. That's why I stayed out of jail for so long, you know what I'm saying? That's how I stayed myself out of getting caught up in a whole lot of shit because I was to be smart about my shit. You know what I'm saying? And so they used to be like, man, so all these youngsters, y'all going to the pen 10 years, 15 years. Man, you ain't never been to the pen. I ain't never been to the pen. Because I thought.
What made Smokey go back to work?
Man, it was just something because I'm kids, man. My kids, I was looking at my kids, and one of my sons was in school one day, and the teachers were asking them, what did their parents do for a living? You know what I'm saying? And my second oldest son told the teacher, I don't know what my daddy do, but I know he keep a briefcase full of money. I say, told the teacher what? Like, mama told me, said, you know what your son told the teacher? She said, I said, what did he tell the teacher? He said, I don't know what my daddy do, but he keep a briefcase full of money. I said, what? Why you telling the teacher some shit like that? I said, so what do you think your daddy do for a living, man? He said, I don't know, Pops, but you don't make me no different what you do. You give me what I want, and I'm cool. You know what I'm saying? You know, anytime I want something, you give it to me. You know,
right.
Yeah, I ain't tripping. That's all I already know. You open that briefcase. You know what I'm saying? Man, you know, knock it off. I said, man. I said, see, this ain't how you want to get your money, son. I said, I'm taking chances. You know what I'm saying? I already see all this money in this briefcase. I took chance to get this money put in this briefcase. Why do you think I ain't got it in the bank? You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't get it the right way.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I just, had to explain it to my son. And so then I met this lady named Margot who was opening up a school for at-risk, for kids on probation.
Okay.
She was opening the school.
How did you meet her?
I met her through another guy named Chilton Alphonse who had opened up a school on Crenshaw. He opened up a school on Crenshaw, and at one time he was on crack. He was a smoker. But he was a smoker, he was intelligent. And he always used to tell us he finna get some money, even to get some money to open up a program. Everybody used to laugh at him, you know what I'm saying? Man, knock it off, children. You ain't finna give you no money. He said, yeah, I wrote this grant, I'm doing this through, I'm finna get some money. And everybody used to think he was joking. They didn't know what thought he was talking about. And he used to be the cook in the spot. I mean, he used to be up in there cooking food. He was the chef. He had been in the Navy, cooking in the Navy, so he did all the cooking for us over at the spot we had. And he smoked a little shit, whatever. But he ended up getting some money. And so I was one of the ones, he said he didn't have no car. Smoke, let me use your car. I gotta go to this meeting downtown. Can I use your car? Yeah, man, I give him keys to my Cadillac. Yeah, man, go get me. So every time he needed to use a car, I let him use my car. Everybody said, man, you let that fool use your car? Man, he gonna smoke your car up. He gonna sit, man, he ain't gonna know. Man, he good, man. I ain't worried about Chip doing no stupid shit. He ain't stupid. You know what I'm saying? He go down to the meetings and come back. Everything went cool. Next thing we know, he done got him some money. Opened up him a school on Crenshaw. I have to call it Community Youth Sports and Arts Foundation. He opened it up on Crenshaw and 48th right there. And he opened it up.
That Kentucky,
Church's Chicken. Before you get to that Church's, right? Same side street, the Church's right there.
Right, yeah, I've seen that place. There.
Yeah. So he dead now. He had a boxing gym in the back of it too. And so when he opened it, he needed some people up in there to go to school to come to. He was telling them he was gonna have some people coming for GEDs and shit like that. So I went. He said, "Smoke, can you get some kids? Can you get some youngsters come over here and sit in these classrooms? Because I got Channel 2 that's gonna come over and do some filming, see how I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? So I got some of the homies and took them over there. And we sat in this classroom. We were studying, taking tests and going on, trying to get. We was playing the role. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So they came and they came and interviewed me and asked me why I was. I said, well, I knew him growing up. He stayed in my neighborhood, and I wanted to come get my GED, and so he told me come up here. So he said, okay. And so through that process, Channel 2 had liked me and started, and so they would say they want to come back in 6 months or so and see how I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? So I tell the children, I said, man, now you got me. I said, now these folks talking about coming. I said, what I finna do now, man? He said, man, you going to keep coming. I said, man, I'm not finna keep coming up here doing this, man. He said, man, I'm gonna pay you. You know what I'm saying? He said, I'm gonna pay you and you can put you on salary. You know, you're gonna be like a little, you know, security for me for all the rest of them. Because we end up starting getting a bunch of rolling 60 kids up in there and some other kids from different neighborhoods up in there. So I was up in there, he put me in as a security person. And so I'm up in there, then met the lady Margot. Through him, I met Margot. She had a machine shop on 62nd and Normie.
Okay.
And so she was talking about starting a school. And she had a machine shop. And she told me, she said, Smokey, won't you come over here and go to my machine shop class and do some training, and I'm finna get some kids over here, and I want you to be my security for my kids. I'm getting kids straight out of probation. From probation, she was getting her kids straight from probation. And so she said she was gonna pay me a salary to be security, and then I can also learn this trade in the machine shop. You know, learn how to do this. You know, parachutes. When they grab their parachute, I used to make them things.
Is that right?
Yeah, I used to make those things. And then the white guy, he had a scaffolding business and had me doing scaffolding. So I'm learning all these trades, getting paid, doing it. So I tell children, you can't pay, you ain't paying me enough of what she paying me. You know, she paying me some nice money. He said, well, go ahead, don't worry about smoke. We cool over here now. And they had recruited some older cats from 60s to come over there and be security for him over there. So he was cool with it. So I ended up being there with her and with her program and with her, stay with her for damn near forever, you know what I'm saying? She ended up becoming like an auntie to me, and she ended up being like another mother to my little homie, Porky, who's like my little brother. She ended up being a mother to him, and so we stuck with her, man, and we helped her through all of this shit. We took her from that one little school to we took that, and she ended up getting a transportation company on Crenshaw. They have school buses. We had school buses called Kids on the Move. When Laylaw had lost their contract, she had got a contract for her busing company called Kids on the Move, 25 million for 5 years. And so she got all the back in the days, you probably seen it, there was a lot of school buses on Crenshaw right there on 68th, 67th and Crenshaw, right there by the tracks. She started a lot of school buses. That was her and so my brother played Porky. He put some
right where the metro running through there now. They don't put that metro going.
No, ain't no metro going that way.
Now.
Oh, now, yeah, but no, that train track I'm talking about going east and west.
Right, but the
metro for the going out straight down Crenshaw.
No, they got one cutting through, going.
Oh, you talking about the one? You talking about the one to go down? I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
You know, you could be on Centinela.
Yeah.
Going on past Centinela. Yeah.
But I was thinking, come on that track right there across the Crenshaw. I forgot what
it's down a little further. It's a little further, about a few blocks down.
Yeah. So we was over there for a minute, and then that's when so we was doing that. They was doing the school busing, and she had a program called another program. So we doing a school. We moved to school on Crenshaw, and then we moved to school on Crenshaw, and she had the bus, and then she had family preservation. She was dealing with families. She had it was a big organization, WIPE, Youth Intervention Program. And so she was doing all type of stuff in the community.
And you was working for her?
Yeah, I was working for her. I was like, I was, and everybody, and I helped her get started, you know what I'm saying? So it was like, but back they was set, word was going out, she got all that started behind me and my brother stopped selling. She had us, at one time they were saying she was sending us out of town, sell dope. Making the dope money, bringing it back and putting it in the organization. But that ain't how that shit went, you know what I'm saying? We stopped selling dope.
Right.
After we stopped selling dope, what she said, y'all got to leave. She told us, y'all got to leave the drugs alone. But we had stacked up enough money where it was cool. I had enough money I could do that. You know what I'm saying? And that's what broke up. That's what broke up my first marriage too. You know what I'm saying? I got married in '87 to my first wife, and but when I stopped selling drugs, she was She didn't like it. You know, she was
She
so
wants you to stay a hustler.
yeah, she was so used to that lifestyle.
wanted you to stay a hustler.
She was so used to that lifestyle me and her was living, getting a different car every 2 years, and going on trips and all of those shit.
And so you made a change.
I made a change. I said, look, we can't be doing all that shit no more. You know, and that ain't finna happen. This car you got.
And she didn't want to stay.
Yeah, she didn't want. So me and her started going. We started fading. You know, we started going apart. You know what I'm saying? And,
Right.
And it just messed me and her relationship up. You know what I'm saying? And so we ended up getting
She
divorced.
wanted the hustler smoke.
She wanted the hustler smoke, and I was through being the hustler smoke because
Yeah,
I said I've been in this game long enough. I done survived. I ain't got.
Well, if you don't get out the game, it's either one or two things. Either you're gonna end up dead,
Yeah,
or you're gonna end up in that penitentiary.
exactly. You know. What I'm
So you got to try to get, you got to get out of that life. So,
Exactly.
You know, so you started working.
I was working full time. I didn't want to, I was working full time with Margot, you know, dealing with her and the kids because we ended up getting group homes. That's when we started getting group homes. She got a 6-bed girl facility, and then she got a boys facility in the Worcester district for 26 boys.
Is that right? Yeah, you really was in it because I know about these 6-bed facilities.
Yeah.
So you was really in it.
Yeah, we had a 26-bed facility for the boys. 6 facility was for girls. Yes, you know, she was getting like 40-something hundred for each boy.
Yeah, she was, man.
We had so much money going through. We had so much money we was making.
Yeah, she was a monster,
Yeah,
man.
she was
I
a
mean,
monster.
you know, man.
Yeah, Margot, she was well known. She the one that created the Spa 6. She didn't work on all the different people that was different organizations working with families. She the one that created the Spa 6. You understand me? Where all of them come together and strategize and how to work together and do stuff. And she was real. Her name was real big in that nonprofit shit, man. Real tough, you know. And so, because the boys' home, the boys and girls' home was named after. Did she die? Hey, what's the councilwoman name? Got that name. Watson, Diane Watson.
Maxine Watson?
No, Diane Watson.
Diane Watson.
Diane Watson. Watson Manor. That's what the boys and girls' home was named Watson Manor, named after Diane Watson. So she was, you know, with them politics, you know, she was with them politicians and all that shit.
How you get your ass in all of that?
Man, we had it cracking, man.
You done went from a drug dealer to the
To kicking it with politicians and law
community
enforcement.
activist.
You know what I'm saying? And just me being around these different people, I start seeing life differently. You know what I'm saying? I start realizing, man, this is some rewarding work. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing something good in the community. I start feeling my mother and father used to be looking, used to be glad. And I used to tell them, I need y'all to get dressed up. I'm y'all to go to this function with me. You know what I'm saying? Where you going? Don't worry about this come. You know, it's going to be,
Wow.
you know, and so everybody in the family used to be looking at me like, man, what's this boy? He ain't trying to.
He done changed.
Yeah, you know, he done changed. You know what I'm saying? And so I started feeling better for myself and started realizing, you know, now I said, man, this is good. I ain't got to look over my shoulder. I ain't got to worry about the police knocking on my door. You know, them coming and taking me to jail, you know, shit like that. And so I started feeling good, man, you know, and started really staying in that shit. So therefore, when right before the riots in '92, is when I started my own organization. She helped me start my own organization.
Is that right?
That's when I started the organization Mad Dads. I started Mad Dads. I saw them brothers on a TV show.
Who picked out that name?
No, see, brothers in Omaha, Nebraska. That's where it started at. Omaha, Nebraska. They was on Oprah, or they was on somebody's show. I was watching them on TV. I was looking, I said, damn. And they was talking about what they do in their organization, how they get the men in their community to work with the young people in their community, and how they stopping the violence and all that sort of stuff. And I was like, man, I need to do something like that here in L.A. You know what I'm saying? I said, I need to do so. I made a phone call to them brothers.
Is that right?
Yeah, I made a phone call to them brothers and asked them, how can I get a chapter started here in L.A. with doing what y'all doing? And we had a few conversations and stuff they was talking. They was like, man. I said, yeah, this is cool. Because Mad Dad stands for Men Against Destruction, Defending Against Drugs and Social Disorder. That's what Mad Dad stands for.
Man.
And so when I told Margot, I said, Margot, I've been talking to these brothers from Omaha, and I want to start a chapter of their organization out of here. She said, well, what is you just? I said, let me show her a video because I had videotaped the whole thing when they was on TV. Told her to check it out, to look it up, see what's going on. And she said, man, it's like this would be real cool. She said, so you been talking to him? I said, yeah, I've been talking to him. Hey, man, we conversing like a motherfucker. And they want to come down here for a visit.
Mm-hmm. Is that right?
Yeah, so she got involved with me and she helped me get it started. So she said, well, whatever you need me to do, we're going to do it. I said, well, if they want to come. I said, so she said, okay. She said, we're going to put them up. We're going to pay for their hotel room. So I got that. Don't worry about that. I'll put them up in the over there by the airport. We'll have a dinner. We're going to invite all these different people from the organization, from the streets, a bunch of different churches, a bunch of pastors. I invited a bunch of pastors, and we had a big old event when they came. And they came and talked about their organization. Because I mean, you look it up, you'll see what I'm talking about. If you ever get time, you look up a Mad Dads, and you'll see you probably see a couple of videos of me on it. But I was right before the riots. I had started this shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so that's why when I started it, I got it. Like I said, I had pastors from on the east side.
So you was taking
Inglewood.
You was taking the skills of the streets and now using the skills over here, doing something positive.
Yeah, doing positive. I got me an office on Crenshaw down there by Harrison Ross.
Is that right?
Yeah, I had my office right there, down there next to Harrison Ross down there on Crenshaw.
Damn.
Man, we was doing a lot of shit in the neighborhood, and then so that's when I started. I got some funding to start a program at the school. Just like now they doing safe passage at these schools. Mm-hmm. I started safe passage.
Is that right?
Man, I was doing safe passages at Drew. I was doing safe passages at Markham, Gompers. A lot of middle schools. I had brothers riding on bicycles. I had brothers on bicycles in the morning and in the afternoon, making sure the kids, they the jacket on, so it's like they doing right now. Same right? Like a King Drew. I was over there, went over to my boy Boo, because Boo wrote me a letter. And went over there to pick the letter from Boo. I said, y'all still doing the safe passage? They know this. Yes, but we know you started this shit back then. It's big money now, man. It's big money now. So when I was doing it, it was some money in it, but it done got real big. Because a lot of them brothers that started it, like the brother from the jungle, boy.
So you were doing a lot of positive things.
Yeah, I was doing a gang of positive stuff, and I was getting food.
Even though you started off like a bad kid.
Yeah,
But life changed.
Life changed, and I was getting a lot of brothers that was coming home. I was getting them jobs, helping them get jobs. I was doing all kinds of stuff. Because my brother had opened up a removal service, picking up bodies for different mortuaries. Mm-hmm. You want a job? I mean, I don't want to pick up no dead. You scared of dead bodies? I ain't never seen so many bad niggas scared of dead bodies. I said, you niggas, y'all niggas is something else, man. Y'all play this tough road pursuit. Man, is the body dead? What you scared of?
Like it's going to come to life.
Yeah, I'm like, what? You scared? Man, you don't come and help me pick this body up? Because we was picking up dead bodies like nothing. We was picking over 100 bodies a month when we first opened that company.
Is that right?
Man, that company was booming, because wasn't a lot of people doing it. Now there's a lot of companies doing it now.
Right.
We was picking up for so many different mortuaries. It was just the shit. We had about 15 vans, man.
Damn.
We had about 15 vans, and man, talking about something was lucrative. It was cracking.
So you've been really doing it then.
Yeah, man. Shit, me and my brother, man, we had it cracking like a motherfucker, man. And then I had that going on, and I had Mad Dads going on. Started a chapter in Inglewood. Started a chapter over there by the Pueblos, over that area.
So you was getting around.
Had a chapter in Compton. I had all these different men in these different churches, bunch of pastors and stuff, man. Had the whole congregation. We was doing a lot of stuff. And then we opened up a relationship with the sheriffs. So we had we was doing a lot in the community, man. That's what, a lot of them old organizations, Maxine Waters and them all, they see me, Mad Dads, what y'all doing? We ain't doing nothing. We used to do street patrols. Man, we used to be patrolling in Kitchen neighborhood on the weekends, trying to get them youngsters, don't be out there hanging out. East Coast hood, we used to walk. I used to have a group of men and women just walking through the neighborhood late at night.
Wow.
Talking to them youngsters. Man, why are you out here like this, man? Ooh. So we had, and then the sheriffs, the sheriffs used to see us out there, and the sheriffs see us talking to some youngsters. They see us, they cool. They that's Mad Dads. Because I had a real good relationship with Baca when he was the sheriff. When I first started, Block was the sheriff. Block was still living. Mm-hmm. When I first started, Block, then Baca came in right behind him. Mm-hmm. And me and Baca was cool. You understand me? Baca got me out of trouble one time. Because they know I got pulled over for some traffic shit, San Pedro. And the sheriff took me to jail. I had a child support warrant or some shit. I said, man, what y'all blocked me up? What y'all got me up in there for? He said, back some child support. I said, man, for real? I said, man, y'all don't let me up out of here.
And see, this is one of the things. A lot of people wouldn't know you done all that, Smoke.
Yeah, but it was well documented, man. It was well documented. It was on. I was on TV.
You know, with a lot of just cats, they wouldn't know that you put in this work. That's a lot of work in the neighborhood, man.
I was trying my best to do something positive, man.
You was doing it.
Yeah, and I was just trying to help people, man. You know what I'm saying? That's what, for me, that was something that was making my parents proud. They seen how I wasn't I went out there doing that same old shit I used to be doing when they know I was. It was waiting to get a call saying I done got shot or some shit like that. They say, they stop worrying.
Smoke, I'm thinking, I'm saying, man, if you help save 1, 2, 3, you done a whole lot.
Exactly. That's why I felt. That's why I looked at it. If I could just save one, you know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? That's a whole lot, man.
Exactly.
You know
what I'm saying?
That's the way we got to look at it. And I'm like, damn, you was out there busy, man, because I didn't know all of that.
Yeah, man. I was doing it, man. And that's why right now, Dave, when I tell you about the boys, I got boys now, they men now, that was in that boys' home. Mm-hmm. They see me out there. Smoke, man, what's up? You remember me? I'm like, from where? I said, I was in your group home. Oh, okay, what's happening, man? He said, man, I'm so glad, man. I learned a lot from you, man, because I used to tell them straight out, that's why they love me up in there. Because I used to say, man, if it wasn't for you, man, I'd probably be in the penitentiary, man. And so I love that. I had one cat.
You done saved some lives.
Man, I got one cat had me kind of spooked.
Is that right?
Yeah, see me, he said, man, you don't remember me? And the way he was saying it was all aggressive, right?
Yeah.
And I'm saying to myself, like, where I know you from, youngster? He said, man, I was in your group home. You was in my group home? He said, yeah. He said, man, remember you had to take me back to jail. Now I'm looking at this nigga like, you got some animosity? Because I had to take a couple of them back to juvenile hall. You know what I'm saying? They was doing stuff they weren't supposed to be doing.
Right.
And they got kicked out. And, they tell me, Smoke, transfer this sucker back to juvenile hall.
Wow.
And so the youngster say, man, Smoke, you remember you was taking me back to juvenile hall? And I asked you, man, let me get out right here on the 105 freeway. I can go to the hood. He's from Watts. I said, man, for real? He said, yeah. So I'm looking at it like, you okay? He said, oh, yeah, man, I know you had to do what you had to do, man. I said, because for a minute there, I thought you was like feeling some type of way, like you had a problem. I was trying to size this little youngster up, right? He kind of big. Right. I said, yeah, I'm just sizing him up because he got attitude. We finna be out here tearing some shit up out of here.
So, Smoke, now you driving different buses.
Yeah.
How did you get into that?
Because at the school, Margo, she got the girls and boys school at Inglewood.
Because when I seen you, I said, well, how does nigga get in the MTA? I mean, for real though, you see people, and it's just the way it is. When you see people with the MTA uniform, that stands for something. You know what I'm saying? So I said, how does nigga get in the MTA? You gotta pass the test. It ain't easy to get Class B license and things.
Yeah, so what happened, we had, so all our stuff, like I said, we had the Mad Dads, and we had all the bus company, we had all the transportation shit going on. But at some time, it all fell off. We lost a lot of shit, you know what I'm saying? So we was like, damn near, start back over at ground zero, man, because we had lost a lot of shit. We had too many people in our inner circle. Mm-hmm. I was tell my auntie, I said, you don't have too many people in our inner circle. A few of them was running their mouth, because saying that, yeah, they taking money from over here, putting it over here, and only, doing this and that. That Smokey needs some money. She gonna find Smokey some money from somewhere. That Porky needs some money. There's all kinds of shit.
Got shaky.
A lot of us start getting jealous.
That'll do it every time.
Jealous, start running their mouth, and so she ended up losing shit. Of it. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So she let all that shit, let a lot of shit go, and then I want to say in 2013, she reinvented herself and opened up a girls' school in Inglewood, right on St. Mary's campus.
Is that right?
Yeah, she got the building that the nuns.
They let her St. Mary campus.
Yeah. It's a building right there on St. Mary's campus where the nuns used to live at. The nuns because the nuns used to run Daniel Freeman Hospital.
Right,
They
right.
stayed her building. Is where they stay. Upstairs is bedrooms. They got bedrooms upstairs. Got about, I don't know how many bedrooms upstairs and bathroom. Each bedroom got a own bathroom. They got 2 main showers in that hall. It's a good facility.
Right.
So she got that facility. Nuns moved up out of there. She got that facility.
Wow.
So she was gonna do She was gonna do a home upstairs. She did it at one time. Do a girls' home upstairs, and she's gonna do a school downstairs. Got a big old industrial kitchen downstairs. You know, because
They were doing big things.
yeah.
Man.
So she opened up her girls' school in 2013, and so she had told me I had started driving trucks. I was driving across country, 2008.
Big rig, 18
Yeah, I
wheels?
was driving big rig in
Okay,
2007.
well, then here we go.
I was driving big rigs in 2007.
So you paid enough time in school to learn to read.
Yeah, oh yeah, most definitely.
Because if you got to know how to read
Yeah.
to pass these tests. I got a nephew, he ain't got them Class B license yet.
Oh yeah, it's
And
ain't no
you
joke.
got to
ain't no
learn
joke.
all that brakes,
Air brakes and all that shit. Yeah, general knowledge. So yeah, I went to school. I went to Swift School to learn how to drive trucks.
What school is that?
Swift.
Swift.
I went to Swift School in Anaheim.
See, that's what some
Arizona.
See, just like I being on this podcast, I want another young cat to be able to say, "Man, I might be a driver too."
Oh yeah, I got a son that just got his license, man.
See what I'm saying?
All you gotta do, man, it's a lot. And the thing about with driving trucks, your record don't stop you. It ain't about your record. You can have many felonies you want to have. You can get a truck driving job.
Get a truck driver.
Man, for felonies, it's easy to get a truck driving job. It doesn't. Your record
And that's
doesn't
what
stop.
some of these just now just saying that. This is what this podcast too that I would like that somebody could that one thing. It could be one person. Say, man, I got a record with them. I can do that.
Exactly. With a record, you can get in the trucking industry easy, no problem.
Yeah.
It doesn't affect you in trucking, man. It doesn't affect you. It's the easiest fuck to get a job in that, man.
Well, no,
that's why you got a lot of brothers that's getting out the pen. They getting their trucking, they getting their Class A's.
Right.
They getting in behind the wheel of a truck. You understand?
Well, see, somebody, they need to know that, though. I mean, you know what I'm saying? A lot of times people don't know what to do, and just something just that simple, you sharing that
Oh yeah.
can get them going. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, they can look it up. They can check it out, man. It ain't hard to do. And go to school. You can get into school. Like I went to Swift. When I went to Swift, they sent me to Arizona. I was down there probably like 2 months. And so when I graduated from there, and they sent me out with a trainer for like 2 to 3 weeks.
See, you was serious, though.
Yeah, so so I went with a trainer for 2 or 3
You went
weeks.
to Arizona. How you go to Arizona for that?
That's where they major hub is at. That's where their big headquarters is at. Is
And
in
they
Arizona.
training you there.
Yeah, my son, he in Vegas. He dealing with the ones in Vegas, but Arizona is their main
So
hub.
you got to be serious.
Yeah, main hub. And so when I went out there, I was like, man, I'm gonna do this shit. You know what I'm saying? And I was driving, and I got my license and got on the road with a trainer. Then I was able to get my own truck and get my own brand new Volvo. That's when the Volvos started. Bust out them new Volvos. I got me a Volvo, and I was on the road. And so you stay with them for a year. Your schooling is paid for. Your schooling is paid for. And so, depending on the runs or how much they loan, they keep you out there. Because Swift is one of the biggest trucking companies out there. They got damn near more trucks than anybody.
Yeah, I seen that name.
Yeah, Swift got more. So
seen
they
that.
pay rate is low. You know what
But
I'm
you
saying?
got to get in something.
Yeah, you got to start somewhere. But I'm saying some companies you can go to and get your license, and they might start you off at $34 cents a mile. Swift gonna start you off at 28 cents a mile.
You got to start somewhere.
You know what I'm saying? So I said, I'm just gonna go ahead and do Swift. So when I left after a year, I left Swift and went to Heartland Express, and started driving for Heartland Express. Damn near 10-cent hike when I went to Heartland Express. But then my father got sick in 2008. I didn't want to be on the road. My daddy was real sick. I didn't want to be in New York, and I get a phone call say, "You get back to LA, Pops ain't doing too good." I wasn't coming home enough. I was out there 2 and 3 weeks before I was able to come home. I said, forget this shit. So I quit.
So let me just say this. So family is important to you.
Oh yeah, my mother and father, man, they was everything to me, man. And so when I quit, I got a job at the railroad. That railroad, what's the name of that shit? Parsec. Mm-hmm. Got a job at the railroad. Right. And there was a lot of ex-cons and everybody working down there. You thought that was a penitentiary when I first went down there. I said, what the hell? So I seeing niggas, I said, man, I've been down there for a minute. I said, man, it's legit. I said, damn, it's like the 4 yard up at this motherfucker, huh? Right. Everybody working up in there. The SAs over here, the whites over here, the blacks over here. Man, we all working for the same company. What the hell, what's going on? We out there working. Niggas up in gangbanging and tripping. Because I had some fools ask me, when I went to Parsec, I was with some square dudes.
So Parsec is like what?
The railroad.
Railroad.
Okay. Right there off of the 710.
Okay.
And, down there before you get to Washington on the left.
How did you hear about Parsec?
Because it's a lot of Negroes I knew work down there. It's a lot of hood niggas. They give niggas jobs down there driving. All you needed was a Class A.
Right.
We was driving.
Well, that's another key thing.
Yeah.
You gotta start somewhere. You had the license.
Had the license. I went over there, and I was over there going through the little training with some square cats from Carson who ain't never gangbanged. Mm-hmm. They was from Carson. They was just some cool little dudes, and we was shit. It was my partners. We was going through training together.
Right.
We come into the break room one day, and some fool, I seen these fools over there talking and pointing, looking over there at us, right?
Right.
I ain't thinking that. We had a job, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
The fool comes over to my man, where y'all from? So the other cats, they looking at me like, what is he talking about, where we from? I said, hold on, youngster, what you mean, where we from? He said, man, this is a job, man. What do you mean, where we from? He said, I just want to know where y'all from, man. We ain't from, man, look, if you don't go back over there where you was at, bro, whoever sent you over here, man, tell me, you need to go back over there before you going to get yourself in something you can't get yourself out of, bro. Well,
right.
Who you think you is? So I was mad, right? So my partners, they asked me, said, Smoke, what was that fool talking about? Man, he said, that nigga talking about some gang shit, man. He said, they said some gang shit? Yeah, man, we up here, we had a job at the railroad. These niggas up gang banging, trying to find out where we from. So I said, watch tomorrow, y'all. Watch tomorrow. We come up in here tomorrow. So the next day, we went to break. I brought a blue rag with me and tied the blue rag around my head. So then you ain't got to ask me no questions. You know where I'm from now. You know, since y'all want to know where I'm from, I'll show you where I'm from the next day, right? So next day, some part they look and say, man, what you do with that rag? I said, no. I said, now watch when these Negroes see me walk up in that break room with this rag around my head. Watch how they act then. So we went up in that break room, and all them niggas was tapping each other like, look. They said, look at him. They said, oh shit. Oh, that nigga here crip, huh? They ain't looking like, man. So I don't know what the little youngster they did. They called. I had another partner working named Wolf from 9-0. Mm-hmm. Wolf was not Wolf. Man, nigga name not Wolf. What's that nigga name? That nigga he was boxing. He did a lot of MMA fighting too. Damn, he went to that nigga in the PNL for killing his baby mama. Damn, that nigga name.
What love to do to you?
Ghost. Nigga Ghost from 9-0. Ghost from 9-0. Ghost wasn't no joke. Ghost got hands. So Ghost was working up there. So they must have told Ghost, yeah, you got some nigga there. I guess he's supposed to be Crip. Come check him out. You know what I'm saying? So that nigga Ghost must have came up in there and he looked and saw me. And I looked up, I saw him. I said, Smoke, what's up, baby? I said, what's up, Ghost? Ghost said, is this who y'all talking about? He said, man, y'all leave that nigga alone, nigga. You about to get your ass whooped. So the young said, man, y'all go somewhere and sit down. This nigga, he said, man, this nigga here, he OG, man, he ain't with that dumb shit, man. You come over there. Right. This who y'all kept asking questions. Man, you lucky you was able to walk away. Man, come up with that dumb shit talk. Man, I said, man, you don't fuck about it.
Out here on the job.
Yeah, out here on the damn job. I said, man, what's wrong with these niggas, Ghost? He said, man, these niggas out here, Smoke, they out here banging, man. I said, these niggas ought to be ashamed of themselves. We up here, how much we getting paid an hour, man? We making $26, $27 an hour. These niggas want to be up in gang banging. Man, y'all don't get your ass somewhere and leave me the fuck alone. Because see, I see shit, that shit like that used to irk me. A nigga ask me where I'm from, I tell a nigga in a minute, what hood you don't like? Because that's where I'm from, nigga. Now what?
Right.
Ask me where I'm from. Whatever hood you don't get along with, that's where I'm from. Now what? You understand? You don't get out of my face asking me no shit like that. Nigga. Who you think you is to ask me some shit like that? Youngster, you nigga, come on, we wasn't even born when I was out here doing this shit.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? So this shit's crazy.
So Smoke, if your parents could see you now and all the changes that you done made,
Yeah, man.
they would really be proud of you.
Oh yeah, most definitely. And I already know my parents was, before they passed, they was proud of me, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, I had started doing a lot of shit good, you know, so they got a chance to witness a lot of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Especially when I had mad dads, you know what I'm saying? They had a chance to witness a lot of shit that I was doing, man. You know.
Because a lot of cats, not to interrupt you, a lot of cats, the change, they wish their parents could see the change.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? You know, that's big with a lot of young men, you know, when they done changed their life.
Yes, indeed.
You know, and they done, you know, mom praying for them and everything else, just to see the change. You know what I'm saying?
And then also to have your kids see it, you know, because like my kids, like I got 10 kids, man, and so my kids, a lot of them heard the stories, they know what their daddy used to do, you know, and that's why none of my kids had never got caught up and wanted to do that shit. You know what I'm saying? I got none of my sons wanted to be no gang members. You know what I'm saying? They majority of them married, got kids. I tell them all the time. I said, man, I'm proud of because y'all some good daddies, man. I say, I wasn't no good daddy like y'all is, man, because I was going here and there. You know what I'm saying? I got 6 baby mamas. You know what I'm saying? I say, with my sons, you know, they stick with one girl and.
Well, they see the change, though.
Yeah,
you know
they
what
do
I'm
the
saying?
thing, and I
see, a lot of times that happened with you. It was young, you know, you was active out there. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
But you got it together, and they seen that, and that's that's showing, you know, man, a whole lot. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, because now Smoke is still here. Smoke is a grandfather.
Great-grandfather.
Great-grandfather, you know what I'm saying? So that's a blessing to it all, man. You know, I know we might have to end this thing, but I'm saying, Smoke, man, thank you for coming and sharing it with me, because I done learned a lot.
Shit, man, come on, man.
You know what I'm saying? If nothing else, just sharing this, and this is, to me, is to help another young cat that you always been doing anyway.
Exactly.
Man. You know, just hearing all of that, you've been helping a long time, man.
Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying?
You've been helping a long time.
And then I'm not gonna stop. You know, even though I made a mistake and did something, man, that has got me caught up. You know what I'm saying? Me on some stuff that I shouldn't got caught up in. But like I said, at that time, I had just lost my mama in 2015. You know, I was going through a depression stage. You know what I'm saying? And stuff wasn't just working like it was supposed to do. So when that money stuff came in 20, it was like, man, you know what I'm saying? And the opportunity was in my face, and I went for it, you know what I'm saying? And I gotta pay the cost.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But see, I know that, you know what I'm saying? And I'm cool with that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, but you know, it was a lot of people that I know I helped at that time. You know, when everybody didn't know how they was gonna get some money. And you know what I'm saying? I was able to help them get some. But it was all good, you know what I'm saying? I know I made a mistake, and I'm ready to, you know, do that what I got to do for it.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, Smoke, you real. I mean, that's what I love, man. Is a black
That's all
man
I can be, man.
is to be real
Be
about
real,
it,
man. Shit,
and to be able to even, you know, say what you said. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You
Because I know at one time, you know, it was a point where I was, like I said, when I went to YA, they swore me down. I was going to be dead before I was 25. That's how wild I was, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I said, shit, y'all got me messed up.
Right.
I'm trying to get up out of here, go home. I don't know what y'all...
Right.
They told me, say, when I looked at your file, and all the stuff they were saying about you, we thought for sure you was going to come up here game.
Because the name Kenny Riley, man, it go a long way, bro.
Man, I was forging relationships when I went to
What?
Yeah, man, that was when I was on my unit, the Crips and the Bloods got along. You know, the rest of them niggas, how y'all over there? I got a partner right now, Nudist Park. It's my partner. And you know, me and him used to be, you know, we was kicking it. and the brother that was running Newton's Park at the time, Marcus Nunn, China Dog, seen him sitting with me on the front field. He told that nigga, he said, man, everybody was, I didn't know this cat, and I just heard his name. You know, everybody think he's some bad cat. Oh man, China said, man, what you doing sitting over there with them E. Ricketts? Who that nigga talking about? And I said, is that nigga? I said, nigga, ain't no E. Ricketts over here, Paulie. You got it messed up. You know what I'm saying? I said, you better go on with that shit. Niggas, all my other niggas over there, man, Smokey cool. That's China Dog. Nigga, I don't care. Y'all scared of that nigga? I ain't scared of this nigga. What you think that? China, I don't care who he is.
Right.
Nigga ain't gonna be disrespecting me. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
You know, then my partner, which that was his homeboy, he said, man, he said, these my folks, man, we kicking it over here. That's how we do it over here, man, we kicking it. He said, oh, okay, all right. But me and that cat, China Dog, we ended up becoming real cool, man. We ended up becoming real cool, because I guess I was one of the first niggas that stood up to him. Because I guess before that, he could say what he wanted to say, and then wasn't nobody saying nothing back to the nigga.
Right.
That nigga, you got me messed up, nigga. I'm from the east side, nigga. I don't care about you from Newton Park and Compton, nigga. I don't mean nothing to me. Man, you can get up, we can get out, you know what I'm saying? Whatever, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, so I was like, man, you got me messed up. And so a lot of them dudes over there used to be like, man, y'all niggas over there, y'all get along, man. We ain't trying to, we trying to get out. We ain't trying to stay here.
Yeah.
I ain't trying to stay here much, y'all. I'm trying to get out. I'm trying to get me an early release up out of here, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I can be bad on the street. I ain't trying to be bad up in here.
Man.
That's, you know what I'm saying? I don't want no, I ain't trying to get no write-ups. I ain't trying to do none of that.
Well, half of them want to stay up in there.
Man. Unless you, I'm gonna get in trouble. If you come at me with that, if you come at me, you're gonna get out. Yeah. I'm gonna defend myself. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, you can talk all that stuff you want to talk, but boy, when you get in my face, you want to make it do what it do.
But you want to get out and go home.
Man, I want to get out and go home. I miss my family. I miss the girls, man. This ain't for me, man. You know what I'm saying? I'd be like, man, I was still a young cat too, man. I got me messed up.
Man.
And so I see a lot of brothers, man, that was locked there with me. They said, Smokey, your butt stayed. You stayed. You didn't follow us to the pen. I said, man, I wasn't trying to go to the penitentiary.
For what?
Man, come on, man. Y'all got me messed up. I got little homies that been to the pen. They be like, Smoke, you ain't never been to the... No, I ain't never been to the penitentiary, man.
And they ain't trying to go.
No.
For what? How you going to become the man you are? Let's just see, look at it like this. Yeah. How you going to become the man you are?
At 25, I was done, man.
If you up in the penitentiary.
Man, come on, man.
Who can you help if you in the penitentiary?
Yeah. So
you did the right thing.
Yeah, I say.
And
a lot of it was luck. I take that because I know at any point I could have went there. I could have got caught up or something. You know, just kept pulling me away from that nonsense, man. And I'm so glad, and I thank God every day, man, that He pulled me away out of that lifestyle, man. Yeah. I could have been caught up just like the rest of them. You know what I'm saying? I could have been caught up in a whole lot of different situations. You understand me? When the boys and them came, LA doing their recruiting, BMF. Man, I had the opportunity to hook up with them brothers, and I'm so glad I did.
Yeah. Well, like I said, you said one thing that was good that I hear. You said, I thank God.
Oh, most definitely. He the one, man.
You know what I'm saying?
If it wasn't for him, man, I don't know where I'd be, man.
And that's what these young men, women, whoever, they got to thank God. God is the way, really. You know what I'm saying? No matter what, God said, acknowledge me in all your ways.
In all your ways.
You know what I'm saying? So good, bad, ugly, whatever it is, He said, acknowledge me. You know, God, and let Him do the covering. You know what I'm saying?
I know when the times when I've been shot at and the guns and the shots missed me. I know who covered me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the real. Yeah,
because I'm looking like, man, I got missed. Shit.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
So I know. I was brought up in the church, man. You know, it's a lot of things that I don't believe. I don't believe. Sometimes they be saying because there's a lot of stuff in the Bible. Because I read the Bible myself, man, and it's a lot of stuff that I read in the Bible myself, man. And some of these churches, they do some goofy shit, man. I tell them, y'all do some goofy shit, man. And, you know, I'm still trying to get them to show me in the Bible where you supposed to be paying these tithes at, man. They're killing me with this. You ain't supposed to pay no preacher to preach, man.
Right.
Man, you come on, you ain't supposed to pay no preacher to preach. They kill me with this stuff, man. And so that's why the church I go to, man, it's real. I love that church I go to, man. It's so cool, man. Man. Experience Ministries on 47th and Compton.
Right.
Man, come on, man.
Compton Avenue?
Yes, sir.
Well, the main thing, you're a believer.
Oh yeah. Got to believe in something. We didn't get there by ourselves, man.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I ain't lived this long for no out of luck. You know what I'm saying? Out of luck. It ain't been no luck, it's been God, man. I know what it's been, man. He the one been having me, because like I say, they told me I wasn't gonna live to be 25, man.
Whoa.
I'm 64, finna be 65 this year, man. Come on, man.
Hey,
Everybody tell me that. Boy, I know you. I thought you was dead. No, I'm still here, partner. I'm still here, man.
Yeah.
You must have did start doing something different. I said, yeah, I did.
Well, one of the things I really like about you, you care about your family.
Yeah.
That's what a man supposed to do. He's supposed to care about his family.
Exactly.
And never forget your family. You know what I'm saying? You know, and you already done started a hell of a lineage already. So you know. Oh yeah. When you look back, look at all that, say, hey, that's me.
Yeah, definitely. And see, that's one thing about me too. With my kids, man, I got six. Like I said, I got 6 baby mamas, but all my kids know each other. All my kids got a relationship with each other. You understand me? Everybody say, "How you?" And if they got siblings with their mama, got other kids, all of them, they all call themselves sisters and brothers. You know what I'm saying? My son, his sister, and she got 4 more other siblings through her mama.
Right.
He claimed all her siblings as his siblings too. You know what I'm saying? And on all them siblings, they claim me as pops.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Like right now, I stay with my son. I stay with 2 of my sons and a stepson and a stepdaughter. You understand me? That I wasn't with my oldest son siblings. I wasn't with their mama when the mother 2 was born, but they called me their pop because they don't got a relationship with their father. They got a relationship with me. They said, you the only father. They told me. He told me, said, man, I'm telling you right now, I'm calling you pops. I know you ain't my pops, but you only pops I know.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. Even though you and my mama weren't together, but you always was around. You always came, because me and their mama she passed away about 4 years ago. We always knew you. We always knew you. Always, came through and checked on us, or came and checked on our mama. Even though you and my mama weren't together, because we was cool like that. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't we trying to get back together. It's just I used to go check on them. You understand me? And just like his little sister, mom used to have me say, "Can you get China?" Because China was going to school. King Drew with my son, or my youngest son. I used to go pick her up, give her a ride to school. So her daddy wouldn't come do it, you know what I'm saying? I said, call me, I come pick a child up.
Right.
Man, they look at me as their father, man, you know what I'm saying? Right. And and stuff like that makes me feel good, you know what I'm saying? Makes me realize, man, these kids see.
No, you done gave back, man.
You know what I'm saying? And I got a lot of kids that I used to go with their mama. I'm not their father, but they still right now to this day, we ain't together. But them kids, they'll call me on Father's Day. They call me on my birthday. They remember my birthday. I can't remember all their birthdays, but they remember my birthday. On Father's Day, they'll hit me up, Pops. Happy Father's Day. You know what I'm saying? Who is this?
Well, that lets you know that shit. You done set a great example.
Exactly. That's what I try to do, man.
Well, just cutting it up with you right now, man. Sometimes a person get a whole nother look, of somebody, because they don't know the ins and outs.
Yeah.
And then if they can hear it, hey, it takes a lot to change.
Yeah.
A lot of cats can't change.
Yeah. They can change, they don't want to change.
Well, they don't want to change, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And making changes is always for the good, you know what I'm saying? So, Smoke, I want to say thank you, man.
Yeah, I appreciate you, brother.
Thank you for coming on.
Come on.
I mean,
anything for brother who I grew up with, man. Come on, man.
Well, it's also helping a brother. We in many ways, we got to learn to help each other.
Yes, sir.
And you helping me by even coming and sitting down with me, man.
Yes, sir, man.
So I just want to say thank you, man.
And I see that's the thing I can see coming to somebody that you know, and you know what I'm saying. I know this ain't no bullshit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
we know each other. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
We've been knowing each other since we was kids. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we know how it was in our neighborhood.
I was going to ask you, man, man, Clara was something else growing up.
Claire Bell, she out?
Is she out?
Yeah, she out on the streets. I don't know what she doing, though. I ain't seen her in a minute.
Yeah.
She just got out because she had just got locked back up for stabbing, killing the bro.
Is that right?
But it was self-defense, you know what I'm saying? They let her up out of there.
Well, there you go.
But she wanted them drugs as motherfucker, though.
Yeah, they was, man.
Drugs is motherfucker.
Yeah.
They can't shake them. Some people just can't shake it, man.
Can't shake it.